So there's been a lot of talk around the old TikTok about how streaming may be dying, and I wanna say that streaming is not dying, but I don't say that in the way that most people are going to assume I'm saying. Streaming isn't dying so much as it's not the infinite profit stream a lot of these companies thought it was going to be, and they have tried a number of things to make that happen. So Netflix seems to take the brunt of this, but realistically, Netflix is the distraction. You should keep that in mind. I'm not saying Netflix is perfect. I understand people's grievances with Netflix, but Netflix is the punching bag that a lot of these other streaming services need. And that's not a good thing. But I am tired of, as I'm sure you are, going to a streaming platform, wanting to watch a movie, and then having to have 5 or 6 streaming platforms to watch a movie because none of them have it. Or one does, but you don't have it, so you have to sign up. There needs to be a centralized consortium of content that you subscribe to where you pay maybe slightly a bigger fee. I'm going to put this out here. I know some are going to disagree, but this is a rough estimate, and there's some other things we need to do with media as it is. But I would rather pay $50 a month for one service that was regulated by the government that controlled all of the film that's there and provided that profit to these separate companies. And I know a lot of you are going, but they'd never do it. They shouldn't have a choice. The media needs to be regulated for on there, meaning that the government says these must be here or you can't do business here. We need these kind of regulations because we, the people, are getting screwed by this. Okay. Second, renting needs to be a thing again. It needs to be a platform that exists physically like it used to. There is a market for it. Anybody that says there is not is obviously not looking into things. The reason we don't have a rental market is because studios preferred the streaming platforms because that's what they thought would make them more money. The idea is, and Disney Plus has shown this, or Disney if you will, is that they will offer movies for a limited time, remove some of them, and then put them back on to incentivize you jumping back to those platforms. It is marketing is what it is. Rental should be a thing. Now, I sent an email and a request to the Motion Picture Association of America because that's where you have to go to get licensing to form a rental company. I never got a response. I will once again try to message them. I would have no problem trying to start up a rental business again, and I have a better way to source films that would work. They may not entirely like it, but I don't think they have legal ramification to say no. But I don't even know what the license costs. Nobody would say anything. There are very few blockbusters left, but we need a large rental platform. I would go as far as trying to seek investors for this if I knew that it was something I'd get a license for, but I have to get that information. Again, I will try to add those comments in here, but rental is still viable. DVD, Blu-ray sales are still viable. These companies are missing out on that profit, and that's because they're assuming that the other way of doing things, which is just streaming only, is the way to work. We need the old process. Theater for premiere, rentals for people who don't want to buy it or can't buy it, who just want to check it out, and there needs to be a process for purchase still in place. We're seeing less and less for purchasing. I don't blame Best Buy for stopping sales. I blame the studios because they're going to stop supplying those movies to Best Buy. And I'm pretty sure when Best Buy realized they weren't going to have a market anymore, there was no point in them staying in that. And streaming should be something available, but again, there should be a more tiered stage to it. Let the rental market do things at the same time streaming is, but not while things are in theater. They're shooting themselves in the foot by offering streaming. Now, COVID, it made sense to have this kind of setup. But yeah, I'm really interested to know what the licensing cost is. I know that Blockbuster had a different deal, and that's fairly expensive for that. I think there's 2 locations left in America now. I think one's in Alaska and the other one's like in Oregon or something. But no, we need rental again. This needs to be a thing. I think it's still a profitable business. I think it can still make money. I think there's newer things that can be done with that. I'm not going to divulge those things here. I have a number of ideas that I'm not going to be providing the secret sauce, so to speak, for, because I feel like that idea will get stolen by somebody else and be perverted in a way that is not the vision I have for it. There is definitely an outpour for rentals that still exists that people are just not paying attention to. So anyway, like I said, I'll try to tag MPAA in here, see what traction we can get. There's going to be any, again, I'm not an extremely large content creator yet. So I don't have that kind of pull that a lot of larger content creators have. But if you guys have any questions, comments, or additional ideas you'd like to add, feel free to look forward to those comments.